I am Bill Peavy, and I was in the class of 1965 at the United States Air Force Academy assigned to CS-24. What you're looking at right now is a screenshot of Microsoft Windows 7 Professional showing my desktop with a few things superimposed on it for purposes of our demonstration. The desktop wallpaper file showing the Academy Chapel is available from the AOG website at usafa.org. There are two photos of myself superimposed on the left side. The one at the far left is my dually photo as it appeared in the 62 Polaris. The one to the right was taken in 2002. The march of time is quite apparent. There is also a certificate file showing on the desktop at upper right. It's my own personal certificate accompanied by a green explanatory caption. It's what yours should look like when you get it, but it'll have your own name and squadron number. But of course there'll be no green caption. This video will walk you through the procedure for installing an SSL certificate for use by Internet Explorer version 9 or later, Apple's Safari, and or Google's Chrome. The demo was built using the Professional Edition of Windows 7, but the same techniques should apply for all editions of Windows Vista, Windows 7, and Windows 8. If you're running on Windows 2000 or Windows XP, then you'll have to use Firefox as your browser, because these Windows versions lack full support for our SSL certificates. If this is the case, you're viewing the wrong video, and you need to get the video for Mozilla Firefox, which runs on all versions of Windows from 2000 through Windows 8, and which does support our SSL certificates properly. An SSL certificate is actually a specially encrypted data file that vouches for your identity when you visit the class website, and it allows you to enter the restricted areas of the site that only classmates should have access to. To protect your privacy, we control this access carefully. You should have received your certificate file via email, and to make things as simple as possible, you should save it to your desktop, just as you see on this screenshot. This isn't mandatory, but if you do it this way, it'll allow you to mimic the walkthrough steps exactly. If you haven't yet received the email with your personal certificate attached, please contact your squadron rep to give him your email address so he can send you what you need. Click on the Squadron Reps button on the home page of the site to get his contact information. We insist on a telephone call because we want to make sure you're really a classmate before giving out the certificate password. Your squadron rep should never send your certificate password by plain text email. If this happens, please notify Tom Browder ASAP so he can replace your certificate with a secure one. As you'll see later on in the demo, the certificate cannot be installed without the proper password. When you receive your password, it'd be a good idea to type it into a text document so you can copy and paste it when you need to furnish it to the certificate import dialogues. This will likely prevent a lot of typos that we all make on occasion. As shown on the desktop, the file is named as follows: the letters CS hyphen your squadron number hyphen your first name hyphen your surname followed by period P as in Papa 1 2. If you don't see the .p12 at the end, don't worry. We just need to get your folder options set correctly. We'll address this shortly. If you can successfully install the certificate and check it out, you'll be able to access the areas of the website that are restricted to classmates. By the way, you'll want to keep your personal certificate and its password in a safe place against the possibility of having to reinstall it at some time in the future. Should you dispose of your PC in the future, please remove your personal certificate before doing so. This is a security measure. If you're unable to remove your certificate, please notify your squadron rep or Tom Browder ASAP so it can be voided. This is to make sure your credentials aren't fraudulently used by anyone else. You'll be issued a replacement certificate upon request. If you're ready, then let's go on. Let's start by setting your folder options so you can see the file extensions. To begin, click Start. Now you'll want to click on Control Panel. This is the way Windows 7's control panel looks right out of the box. Click on that category button. As you can see in the example, let's change that view to small icons. Now we see the control panel the way it's more useful. Notice the yellow highlighter around the applet folder options. We want to open that one now. When the folder options dialog opens up, click on the View tab. Normally, Windows has checked the highlighted yellow option there that says Hide Extensions for Known File Types. We want it unchecked. By unchecking it, you'll be able to see the extensions of the files like the .p12 on your certificate file. So if it's checked, please clear the checkbox. Okay, this is what the option looks like after you've unchecked it. You can now click Apply button down at the bottom and then the OK to close this dialog. If the Apply button is grayed out, it simply means that you didn't have to change the options, so go straight to the OK button and click that. Now look in the middle of the display and see Internet options. I've got it highlighted in yellow. Open that thing. This opens the Internet Properties dialog, and it's really the initial spot for installing certificates in the Microsoft Windows Certificate Manager. Okay, we want you to click the Advanced tab at the far right of that little dialog, and it'll change the display in the dialog box. Okay, this opens up the settings page, and if you can see the green bubble over on the right side that points to the right side scroll bar, you'll want to latch a hold of that scroll bar and drag it down as far as it'll go. Now that you're down near the bottom, look at the area that I've highlighted in yellow and make sure that both those check boxes are checked. Now click the Content tab at the top of this dialog box and see the new screen. In the middle of the screen, you'll see a button labeled Certificates. Click that. That opens up the certificate window. Click on the Personal tab at the far left and look to see that you don't already have your certificate installed. If it is and you wish to continue, then you'll need to first remove the old certificate because you can't install a certificate on top of itself. Once that's done, then click the Import button. Now you see a wizard open up. It's the Certificate Import wizard. Click the Next button. This is where you specify the certificate file to be imported. Click the Browse button. Now you see the open dialog for the certificate file. If you look down at the bottom right of the screen, you'll see X.509 certificate. This won't work. You'll need to use the little pull down arrow on the right side to select the following. As you can see in the example, I've pulled down the little arrow and I've highlighted Personal Information Exchange. Click on Personal Information Exchange and you're likely to see your certificate appear in the list of files on the desktop. Using the scroll bar at the right if necessary, work your way down to where you can highlight your certificate file. Once you've done that, click the Open button. Windows will show you the file to import. It'll show you the full path name to it. Now, if you somehow done like I frequently do and click the wrong file, you can click Browse to hunt for it again, or you can use the back button to go back to the previous stage of the game. If you're okay with what you see there, click Next. Now Windows wants your password for your certificate, so type it in carefully. If you did as I suggested at the beginning of this video and you had created a text file that had your password in it, you can now copy and paste it in there instead of going through all that typing mess. This is what it looks like after you've typed it in, complete with all the dots to obscure your typing. If you've gotten it right, click the Next button. If your password matched the one that was expected, then you'll get to this screen. You'll want to place all certificates in the following store, and you'll want to use the Browse button if necessary so that the certificate store is personal. When you've done that, click Next. If you get to this point, Windows has accepted all of your inputs and is waiting for you to tell it to finish the job. So click the Finish button. If everything went as expected, the certificate wizard will finish its job and tell you the import was successful, and you can click the OK button. Your newly imported certificate should now be presented to you under the Personal tab there. It should be issued to you in your name, not mine. And you can now click the Close button. And now you get to click the OK button again. And now you can close the control panel. We don't need it anymore. At this point, you have your certificate successfully installed, and it's ready for use with either Internet Explorer or Apple Safari or Google Chrome, or all three of them. They all access the certificate using the same mechanism within Windows. In order to verify the correctness of the certificate installation, I've started up Internet Explorer here, and I've opened up the version window so you can see that this is Internet Explorer version 10. As long as your version is 9 or later, you should be okay in Vista or Windows 7. But Internet Explorer has a lot of different looks and behaviors depending on which version you're running. IE 10 seems to work okay with Win 7, but it's finicky in Windows 8. In particular, make sure your Win 8 is really up to date. There are some crucial updates out there. If you have trouble, you can switch to Apple Safari or Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox. They all work. Okay, now you can go up to the top to the address entry and type in the address of the website and hit enter. You'll get a Windows Security pop-up asking to confirm that you're using the proper certificate. Just click OK. Okay, once the class website is displayed, go ahead and click the Classmates Only button there on the quick links. This should take you to the Restricted Area Ahead screen. In the red rectangle in the lower left-hand corner, there's a button that says Enter Restricted Area. Click that. You should now see a screen headed by Classmates Contact Data. Click that link. You should get a screen headed by click on a classmate's name to see available data. This should be proof positive that your certificate is properly installed, that Internet Explorer can use it. Also, it can be used by Google Chrome and Apple Safari. This concludes the demonstration for an installation of certificates for use by Internet Explorer, Apple Safari, and Google Chrome. Should you wish to use Mozilla Firefox in addition to those three, then you'll need to go to the Firefox video and follow its steps to a successful conclusion. I hope this has been a helpful video for you, and I hope to see lots of interaction among the classmates on the website in the future.